The FBI, are they our friends? Millions of Americans have to be wondering after the scandalous behavior of the FBI since Donald Trump first appeared on the national scene. It's been one thing after another, from Crossfire Hurricane and the Trump campaign surveillance to the bizarre vendetta against the peaceful protests of January 6 protesters. So should it really surprise us when Virgin Islands delegate Stacey Plaskett talked about the FBI as if it were the Democrats' personal police force?
What is the point of this subcommittee? Because it's necessary for the public and the media to hear, to try, and provide cover for the eradication of the Department of Justice and the FBI. We are having these hearings so that you become immune. You become inured to the notion of the removal of the FBI and DOJ, so that those agencies are no longer there to serve as a check against white nationalism, great replacement theorists, Christian nationalists, white fragility, fascists, and the twice impeached, convicted felon, former president and would-be dictator, Donald Trump.
Joining us now is Steve Friend, FBI whistleblower and co-host of the Morning Post. So, Steve, let's start with these comments. Do you think this is an accurate representation of the FBI?
Nowadays, yes, it's entirely what they're all interested in. They're sending the new agents to the academy and teaching them that basically the only thing they're going to be focusing on is white supremacy. And she brought up something there that I think a lot of conservatives are falling into the trap of, and that is the Christian nationalist label. I know the temptation for a lot of people is to lean into that. What you have to know is that the FBI has found the hack around the First Amendment, your ability to worship as you see fit. They take information from organizations like the Public Religion Research Institute that say that white Christian nationalism is refracted through white supremacy, even if you are a Black American or a Hispanic American. Those ideologies are still white supremacy, and it's ergo racially motivated violent extremism, and the FBI can investigate you in direct contravention to its mandate to give you the ability to worship as you see fit.
So you reposted a Matt Gaetz post on X recently that said the DOJ and FBI are attacking whistleblowers, and what does Congress do? We write the check and underwrite the debt for the weaponization of the Justice Department. Maybe we should put in any continuing resolution that the FBI director and attorney general shouldn't get their paychecks until whistleblowers get their pay back. I think we can all agree with Congressman Gaetz on that one. But it brings up the question that is in the air when you hear this kind of really virulent, violent sort of almost rhetoric against the political opponents of the Democratic Party, and the FBI being a bulwark or their own personal police force, whatever you want to call it. When whistleblowers such as yourself come forward and then are treated this way, it brings us to this question. I mean, is there anything that can be done? Is the whistleblower system officially, right, just broken?
It absolutely is. Look, I was suspended almost 2 years ago. It was last week marked the 2-year anniversary of my suspension from duty, indefinitely, unpaid, suspended forever. And now here I sit 24 months later, unemployed and unemployable. And these are the sorts of retaliations that people like Garrett O'Boyle and Marcus Allen and Kyle Seraphin and myself have all faced. It is a chilling effect on people on the inside who come forward. And it is by law. The law says it's 5 USC 2303. If you have a reasonable concern of waste, fraud, abuse, or a risk to the public safety, you don't have to be right. You just have to be reasonable. And you bring those concerns forward, you are due certain protections. But the FBI has the hack. They suspend your security clearance for some sort of innocuous, transient reason and keep you in limbo. And we saw no greater example of that than Marcus Allen testifying yesterday. He was unpaid for 27 months, fought that good fight, reached a settlement, so we thought, and still has not received all of his back pay more than 100 days later. This is absolutely ridiculous, and it falls at the feet of the elected Republicans in the House of Representatives who campaigned on this in 2022 and took our whistleblower disclosures, which we gave to them out of naivete, and have now reaped the whirlwinds for themselves electorally, gotten themselves fundraising, gotten themselves on cable news, and yet here we sit, and no one else is going to come forward until there is absolutely accountability for what was done to us.
Yeah, I'm happy that you mentioned the Marcus Allen stuff, because when you look at it, like, if this is where we are standing right now in the country, what would happen if Kamala Harris gets elected as president and they can even push this further?
This is a cautionary warning that Marcus was giving yesterday. I want to piggyback on what he said. He said people should make sure that they have a supply of food on hand, respect their Second Amendment, make sure that they're saying their prayers. A Kamala Harris presidency will only further weaponize the FBI. They have their targets. They are no longer interested in the process. Law enforcement is about the process. You gather the facts, you present them at court, and then that person is either found guilty or they're acquitted and the case is closed. But that's not what they're interested in now. They want the certain outcome. That's why they went after Marcus. His job was to bring information in and present it that was out there. He did that, but the FBI was very upset that that information did not fit with their narrative. And the narrative now is that half the country are domestic terrorists. And this is what I expressed in the first day that I came forward. I said that the FBI is responsible for pitting Americans at each other's throats. And the boiling pot will boil over inevitably, and they have lost their reputation. And now, as a result of that, you can't have polite discourse, and now you're going to have a Kamala Harris presidency, God forbid, in the next couple of months, if she is elected, where she will take the FBI, the teeth on this attack dog against her political enemies, and not hesitate.